All right, welcome everybody to our September 19th library board meeting. We'll first start just kind of doing a quick attendance.
I'm Wanda Manglecook.
Okay. Amy Oren.
Jenna Reno.
Paul Jensen.
Perfect, and we have enough people today. First, can I get an approval for the agenda? Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
And I'll second it.
Perfect. Any discussion? No? All right, moving on. Can I get an approval of our minutes from our August 15th meeting?
This is Jenna. I'll motion to approve.
I will second.
Okay, perfect. Any comments? No? Or can I get a vote? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Perfect. Thank you. Can I also get a vote for the approval of the agenda too? All in favor of the approval of the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Okay, moving on to number 3. Any public comment today?
Hello, my name is Whitney Oxendahl, and I was on the library board before a couple years ago. And then I had tiny kids in it, and then I'm no longer on the board. But I do like to come every few months and let you guys know things that are happening related to libraries. So there are a few things coming up in the community that you can learn more about libraries and support librarians at. The first coming up is Banned Books Week. It is October 1st through the 7th. This is a great week to support freedom to read and to really learn about the history of censorship and banning books in the US. October 7th in particular is Let Freedom Read Day. So it's a great day to call and thank your librarians or contact your state legislator and talk about how you support the freedom to read in our libraries. The second thing, besides Banned Books Week, that is coming up is the North Dakota Library Association's conference. It is in Fargo, coming up October 11th through 13th at the Hilton Garden Inn, October 11th through 13th. And so non-members can attend. It is $200 for one day, $275 for both days, but there is a pre-conference on October 11th from 1 to 4 that is free. So that's October 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. You can especially hear about maybe how the state legislature went this time and libraries. So that's at the Hilton Garden Inn. So it's exciting because it's in Fargo this year, so you can attend if you'd like. And the last thing is on October 8th. There is an event to support freedom to read. It's at Zandbro's at 1 p.m. Yep, 1 p.m. There's an author signing, and then there's a 7:30 p.m. film screening at the Fargo Theater. And it is a film called To Be Destroyed, I believe it's called. And it's about Rapid City, South Dakota, and some restriction to books there. It's a short film and looking at kind of how complicated it can be sometimes. And then our very own Tim Dirks is sitting on a panel before or after that film. So those are a few things, Banned Books Week, the conference, and then October 8th, there's a few things. So I wanted to make sure you all knew, and then the public knew if they were watching. So thank you so much for listening to all of that, and thank you again for serving and volunteering your time. Appreciate you guys.
Great, thank you. Okay, anybody else? No? All right, moving on to number 4, our staff report, please.
Hello. You have my report in your packet. I'll just touch on some things. On the staffing side, Anna Lynch, who has been a branch employee for a while, has been promoted to an LA3 at the branches. She started in that new position last week. And then another one, since I wrote my report, is a longtime LA3 at the main library, Drea Cook, is leaving us. So her position is not yet posted, but we will be hiring replacements for both of those. We have quite a few community engagement events coming up. This Saturday, we'll be at the Family History Workshop taking place at the Ramada, so meeting with a lot of genealogists in the area. Next Wednesday, we'll be at the Fall Job Fair being put on by Job Service at the Delta Hotel. A few staff people will be going to NDSU the first week of October in conjunction with their Banned Books Week event as kind of a library card sign-up drive for new students. We'll also have one more outing at the Red River Market later in October. On to programming news. As you're most likely aware, we've had free yoga for adults on Thursdays for a few years now, but we are adding yoga events specifically for children. So instructors from Mojo Fit will be coming to the library once a month to lead classes for kids aged 2 to 6. For older kids, we have a visit from Deb Watley. She is the author of Summer Ruins. She was supposed to visit us last year, but she got blizzarded out twice. So hopefully the third time is a charm and she can actually make it and do her presentation. An event for adults I want to highlight is our Jazz into Fall series. It's a series of concerts. We haven't done these since COVID, but we're glad they're back this year. Sunday afternoons in October, the public is welcome to come and enjoy an hour or so of live jazz music. This is a family-friendly setting, and many people kind of come and go during the music, so it can be a great way to introduce kids to concerts as well. And then we are also in the middle of our One Book, One Community programs. There's a bunch of information on those in here. I also have books with the full schedule in them if you want one of these before you leave. And I just want to mention something slightly wrong in my report. The Basics of Outdoor Recreation event is suited for all ages, and the Rivers as a Thread is more geared for adults, but everything else in my report you can believe. Do you have any questions for me?
I think we're great. Thank you. Okay, next we have our director's report.
Yes, you have it there per the packet. One thing I'd like to talk about, you can see up under director's activities, met with the city administrator and the city attorney. And this was in regards to a letter that the city of Fargo put together looking at the legislation that was signed into law, House Bill 1205, and what the city attorney over in West Fargo was looking at is putting together a letter asking for the attorney general's opinion related to a lot of the language in the legislation to kind of get a definition and this kind of thing. Initially, I thought, wow, that would be a good thing to be a part of. In discussions, though, with our city attorney, it's really an aspect of we really feel that based on the language of the legislation, we see it as defined within our own policies. In other words, it talks about children's collections. Well, we have a policy that defines the children's collection and all the other aspects of the legislation. So we felt strongly that after having that conversation that we feel good at how we're defining it based on our policies, based on what we believe to be what we do is right, and not asking for an attorney general's opinion in that regard. So just kind of an FYI of a conversation that went out there. It's exciting, through this whole process, just the level of support that we've received from city administration, the majority elected officials, and certainly the city attorney's office. I just want to make note of that. It's been tremendous. So I feel really good about it. Again, we haven't changed one iota of what we do, and we have no intention of doing that based on that legislation. So just kind of an FYI on a conversation there, and if anyone has any questions on the other items in the report, I'll be happy to answer that.
Can I ask you what motivated West Fargo to go for this?
I can only speculate. I think one of the things they've been dealing with, they've had some turnover at the director position, and they've been kind of open for a while. And I think you have a board without a director looking at this legislation and wondering, what are we supposed to do? What is this what do we have to be in compliance? And I think, and again, I'm just, speculating, and I think they were just looking at some kind of explanation, because if you remember reading it, it's pretty vague. It's extremely vague. And they were worried probably to be on the hook for whatever, but the legislation, there is no, it just says, just submit this report with your policies and that's it. It doesn't say, well, if it's not this, then it's that or whatever. So it's only my speculation, but I think they were worried that they'd be left trying to sort this out and not knowing based on the language in the legislation.
No political undertones.
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No? We don't have any unfinished business, but we do have one item of new business.
Yes. Basically, this is just correcting language, bringing language up to date in the rules of conduct policy. On the second page, second paragraph from the bottom, where basically the language is describing the boundary of the main library, and it had public sidewalk for the north side. Now, obviously, that was before they renovated and put in the sod buster, which I just replaced the language public sidewalk with sod buster walkway. So
Okay.
people aren't confused about sidewalk. There's no sidewalk out there,
Yeah.
you know. So that's just kind of bringing it up to date as it is on the north side there. So I'm looking for, we'll need action on this, obviously, a change of policy.
Okay. Do we have a motion for approval? Right?
I motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
second. Okay, any questions at all? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
All right.
approved.
Yeah, looking at August usage, really happy with the attendance. You can see that there, 11% over last year, year-to-date through the end of August, which represents an increase of over 25,000 more visits to the locations. And even, you can see a little hit on Carlson with all that construction they had right down on 32nd Avenue. That's kind of through it, but that's all done for now, so we're happy to have Carlson unfettered by road construction. Programming, you can see that, again, year-to-date through the end of August is up 23% over last year. That's almost 4,000 more attendees. Volunteer hours, had a good August in compared to August of last year, just down 72 hours over last year. Internet, up 12% over last year, just under 4,000 more hours, or people signing up rather, excuse me. Web hits is up 10%, you can see that. The other exciting thing, certainly looking at circulation, up 8% over last year, represents well over 50,000 more items checked out over 2022. So exciting to see that.
Okay, any questions on the usage report? No? Okay, on to financials.
Okay, kind of the donation summary. We received $50 from former employee Diane Briggs. You can see that there. And then on the restricted side, we received $800 from the Friends. Thank you, Friends, for the Crafternoons, which is always very popular. And $1,000 for the One Book, One Community from the West Fargo Friends. And so I want to thank certainly West Fargo Library and the Friends for participating in the One Book, One Community and their continued partnership in that very important community event. On the expenditure side, you can see $1,085 for the children's summer reading books for the summer reading program prizes. Thanks again for the Friends for that. That's huge. Kids love that. Getting the cards and the books in the hands of the children. And $30 expenditure for the Way to Go cards for staff development. Again, thank you, Friends, because if it wasn't for the Friends, we wouldn't be able to do that for the staff. That's exciting there. In terms of operating, with 67% of the year lapsed already, just over 62% expended. Certainly with that constant discussion of city revenue side, we've looked at kind of a end of year estimate. And certainly with that, I'll be having conversations with city finance tomorrow, to see what they're looking for. on our end. Certainly do what we need to do to cover our needs between now and the end of the year, but be due diligence based on the needs of the city as well. So more to come in regards to that. In terms of revenue, you can see that just over $22,000 in revenue through the end of August.
Okay, any questions at all in regards to the financials? No? Okay, moving on to number 9, Friends of the Library report. We have a friend.
We got all kinds of friends.
Hope you all have good friends. I'm Michelle Anderson. I'm the president of the Friends of the Fargo Public Library. And last time I talked to you about a person who resigned abruptly for health reasons. So I'm back to report that we have a full board again. We have a new board member who has voted in. And our big thing coming up is October 6th and 7th is our second book sale of the year. So it's a Friday, Saturday. And we've received a couple of large collections of books from people who wanted to be sure that their books benefited the library system. So I wanted to make sure you knew that. I have posters and little mini posters with me that if you would like to have one for yourself or anyone you know or anywhere you go, I would love to give you as many as you can handle so that you can help us spread the word.
Thanks. Hey, any questions? No? Okay. It looks like last item is our next meeting is October 17th, and we can adjourn.